It did give Vic a nice little, trauma. We have to say that word now in every episode we do. Um, People can take a shot or something.
Yeah.
Um,
Hello, everyone. Welcome to No Drama, Just Movies, and we are back this week with another review. This time, we are here to review none other than HBO's The Penguin episode 6. Drop our channel a lovely little subscribe to stay tuned for the reviews we release each and every week in the world of The Penguin. My name is Cameron. The squid is pouring blood, not ink. Kelly Smith, and I am joined by my esteemed colleague here.
you expanded that one. Um, I'm Phil. I'm in construction, Colin.
Oh, that's right now. That's right. So, the Penguin episode 6. Let's go right into it because this one was a meaty episode. I felt like, what were your thoughts?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know. Because we were speculating a lot for the last after the last one, like what might happen and especially what might happen in this episode. Uh and not much of that has happened. So it felt a little bit more like a filler episode. Particularly we were talking about, well, Squid. What might happen with him and Vic because in the last episode, Squid like saw them go into the house, and I think we both thought that something was going to kick off in this in episode 6, but yeah, it didn't really happen. So it kind of needs to convince me again. I think it took a step back for me. It still wasn't bad. It's just yeah, wasn't as good as the previous episodes.
Man, I'm the opposite. I
Yeah,
love this episode. For some reason, this episode just it gave me all the feels, and we will get into why
yes,
um
please.
as we continue with our review. But I felt a lot this episode. I feel like it was really nice seeing a lot of these characters come into their own, like seeing the scene, for example, between Sofia and Oz's I'll say mistress, because I can't remember
Yeah.
her name. But seeing how, Cristin Milioti was performing that scene and seeing the difference in where the character first started at the beginning of this series to where she is now and how she's able to carry such a presence of fear now. And it was just so really cool just seeing the change, the arc that's taken place. Same with Oz, seeing how he's fine. You can see like the seeds are slowly being planted and the puzzle is slowly coming together to when eventually, Oswald Cobblepot will not just be Oz, he will be the penguin. And you kind of are seeing the seeds planted for that as well. Obviously, a really, really emotional story and arc being told between Oz and his mum. There were some things that I wasn't as keen on this episode, or where I thought maybe was a bit rushed or a bit cheesy. I mean, look, we might as well just get into it since we're
Yeah,
here
let's
now.
shall we get the negative out of the way first and then
Okay,
talk
we'll
about
we'll get the negative. I mean, let's I mean, for me, there wasn't a lot, but I think one of the things that I found quite cheesy was the Gold Summit, should we say, where all of the gang members of Gotham got together to have a little chat with Oz. I found that to be kind of cheesy at some moments because for me, I struggled to see how these guys who are gang leaders were not only willing to meet up together, but was so easily, in my opinion, convinced by a guy that they know is a lying dirtbag. Like I just felt that it was a little bit too easy for me. I think that
okay.
if you've in real life, I really can't envision. Then again, I'm not a part of the gang world, but I felt like I couldn't really envision this, scene happening where rival gang leaders are standing together and they're so easily persuaded by this guy that they know is a crook. And that eventually we as the audience members already know that he's going to use them as leverage. And so if we know, it felt it kind of weird that these gang members wouldn't kind of know that already. Also, as well, like it's a it's a bit petty, but I felt that a lot of those gang members or gang leaders in that scene really didn't come across like gang leaders. Like, like Donny Boy or whatever his name was, like
Oh
that
yeah.
guy felt like a subordinate at best. And you had the classic moment, where that we've seen in so many shows, and usually it's so cheesy where someone makes a good point when he or she is trying to gather the team together, and everyone gives a look to each other like he has a point. He has a point. It was kind of just like, oh man, this is not what I feel like really makes sense, but I'm willing to let it I mean, I'm sorry, but Salvatore Maroni, he is at this point, he is just I was gonna swear there, but this guy, I mean, he can't be Salvatore Maroni. I mean, this guy, he basically just feels like a secondary character at best. He
Mm.
doesn't feel like Salvatore Maroni, all due respect. And the last thing I'll say that I felt like was a critique for me of this episode was how the quick turnaround of Vic killing Squid. I don't think it had necessarily the build that was necessary, and I didn't exactly believe that Vic would make that decision so quickly. But that was my critiques. Over to
So
you.
yeah, with the Golden Summit, I actually kind of like that one. I think in those kind of like superhero or like Batman shows, there's always like a summit of all the bad guys coming together at some point and discussing usually the Batman and how much of a pain in the arse he is. But it kind of maybe a little bit rushed, yes. Maybe that we kind of needed Oz actually like calling these people together and like convincing them to actually all meet without, because there might be a little bit of mistrust. But I think at some point this would have happened. And I like the idea that Oz is really just good at like turning shit around when someone mistrusts him. He can talk himself out of that.
Is he though? Because I didn't feel like it was.
No,
If I'm on the other side, and I was on the other side as the viewer, I'm looking
yeah.
at this like that. This guy's talking a whole lot of crap. Like,
I
if you want a
actually,
gold summit, then give me Joker going and persuading the other goons in the Dark Knight to take out the Batman and telling them that they're too scared to come out at night. That's the gold summit that makes sense.
really,
But
I was on board because he like turned it around and said, "It's not me you want. It's you know these other Sal Maroni and Sofia."
point, good point.
So to kind of say like we have a common enemy, I'm just like you, and I can make you rich if you let me. Here is the one person or the two people that actually stand in your way. And yeah, I at that moment, I think it worked for me, and I wanted to see a lot more of Penguin just getting into corners and talking his way out of it, out of them. So I kind of enjoyed the Golden Summit. Um, yeah, like you said, the squid thing was a little bit too quick. I was really hoping we'd get a little bit more conflict with him and Vic. It did give Vic a nice little, trauma. We have to say that word now in every episode we do. Um, People can take a shot or something.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, it gave Vic and Rhenzy Feliz, it gave him something to play. Um, so I kind of like that as well. It's just, yeah, a little bit too fast and kind of missing all that conflict that we could have had between the two. Um, but yeah, what did you think of the ending?
I mean, look, the ending for me links into what I loved about this episode. And for me, my critiques pale in comparison to what I loved about this episode. And what I absolutely adored about this episode is the relationship, the arc, and the scenes between Oz and his mum.
Yeah.
That scene where he finds her in the bathtub and she's asking him to basically put her down like a dog when necessary because his illness is taking over. Like I can't lie to you, I was feeling very emotional watching that scene, and
Yeah.
I feel like that doesn't hit me often with scenes, but that was so well done. And I'm sorry for not knowing the actress who plays Oz's mum, her name, but she tremendous performance. I felt like, if I'm being honest with you, I feel like thus far that was the performance of the season for me. I felt like it was just tremendous and so beautiful, and
Mm.
it is that just emotional core that anchors the show that is necessary. And I think that is just so beautiful. And for me, that scene alone for me was the whole episode for me. It was beautiful. And I think that the idea of her potentially being killed is really sad. But based on what you said with the ending, based on the look that Sofia had, I don't feel like she'll be able to bring herself to do it.
I don't think, because otherwise she would have, I think, done it. I think it's going to be more of like a hostage situation because she doesn't want the mum. Maybe she wants Vic, but really she's after the penguin, right? So I think it's just going to be a question of holding them both hostage and like getting the penguin to come to her and Sal, and setting a trap. Because yeah, the way she was standing there and just watching them, it didn't feel like a I'm going to kill these two. It felt like okay, I have a plan here, and it's going to take a while, or like it's a longer plan.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm
Yeah.
curious. It managed to make me curious for the next episode, which is always a good sign if you do a TV or a streaming show, because you want people to like switch on the next one. So it succeeded at that, definitely.
Okay, well, that will do it for our review of episode 6 of HBO's The Penguin. We give our episodes a review score here and a certain amount of ices out of 10. Quickly, episode 6. How many ices out of 10 will you give this episode?
I would say 7. Yeah, 7 ices out of 10 for this one.
And I'm going with 8.5 ices out of 10. Absolutely adored this episode. Loved it. And that will do it for our review of HBO's The Penguin. We are No Drama, Just Movies. Please give our channel a lovely little subscribe if you like this review here and you want to stay tuned with our content that we produce each and every week in the world of TV and movies. My name is Cameron. The squid is pouring blood, not black ink, Kelly Smith. And I'm joined by my esteemed colleague here.
Bill, I'm in construction, Colin.
Oh, that's right. We're putting on our little builder hats now to see if we can entice someone like Sofia Gigante or who looks close like her. Once again, we are No Drama, Just Movies. Thank you for checking out our review today, guys, and we will see you very, very soon. Take care, guys.
Bye.